Okay, here we are. This is lesson 1 of how to draw a Ferrari F12. And we finished our last lesson yesterday, so here we go. This is a beautiful car, and I thought I ought to do another Ferrari. This one was going to be a new car anyway because the last one was an old car, so here we go. And just like I always do, I'm starting out doing the darkening of the places that are the darkest on the car. So it always gives me a good starting point, and by doing that, even though they're going to be darker when I finish with them, that lets me know where the darkest places are, and then from there I can make sure that I don't go too far with the light places, because you have to have a big spread in values, tonal values or colors, if you will, and if you don't, then the drawing gets boring. So I always start out with the dark ones, and then I work up to it with the light ones. And in that way, then I make sure that I'm going to be not going too far, too close together with the darks and the lights. And that gives a drawing that makes me happy. So I think that feels like it's the best way to do it. I guess I could go with the lightest ones and then darken everything else up around it, but this just works for me, so it just seems like a more natural thing for me to do. Anyway, working down here, as you can see underneath the driver's side of it, and the shadow cast underneath the car. I put a light dotted outline around the outside of the car so I could tell where I was, and so you'll have some chance of seeing where I am. There you can see my pen jumping because I'm lifting it up and putting it right down in order to make dots onto the paper, in this case Bristol board. And this is the way I do it. It's all just a series of dots. There you can really see me doing it. Okay, and this is just like an inkjet printer, and an inkjet printer of course makes much smaller dots than my pen does, but even at that, this is how it constructs a picture, is out of a series of dots. It takes a little longer to do, but it's almost foolproof. You almost can't screw this up. I've screwed up a couple of them, but generally speaking, it's very hard to screw up a drawing when you're drawing it with a series of dots, because if you put a couple out of place, nobody's going to notice, and even if they did notice, they wouldn't care. But if you put a line in the wrong place with ink, you're pretty well shot down. That's going to be a junk drawing. So this is kind of like an insurance policy. It may take you a little bit longer to get done, and it will, but at least you will be done. It won't be junk when you get done with it. So if you're just careful enough to basically follow what your photograph looks like, then you can do this. I mean, it's very easy to do, and it's very rewarding. I mean, when these pictures are done, people look at you just like you're an alien practically, that you can make a picture out of a series of dots. So it's just a wonderful thing. It makes me feel so good to do these, and when I get done with them, people love them and I love them. So can't say much more than that. It's just it makes a very satisfying looking drawing. And maybe some people don't like them, but it seems to me that more do than don't, so I'm guessing that's a pretty good ratio. I think it might be 50-1 in favor of these drawings, so from the people that I've talked to anyway. And everybody thinks it's a lot more complicated than it is too, but you can see here all I'm doing is putting down a whole bunch of dots, and your mind stitches those all together and makes them into a cohesive drawing, so it looks like a real drawing. It may look like grainy film, or it may look a little weird, but you know instantly what this thing is. So it's really amazing that you can do a drawing like this, and it's very easy to do. It takes very little in the way of instruction to do it. Okay, we're getting fairly far along on the shadow cast underneath the car now. As you see, I did the wheel well and the shadow in front of the car, but I'm not going to be able to finish this whole side today, so I'm got just I don't know, about another half minute or so left to go. And just like I say, just lining this out now, so I'll have somewhere to start tomorrow. We're going to do the whole thing underneath probably tomorrow to finish up the rest of the shadow underneath the car. And then we'll probably start looking at the grill area, which is really dark also. And then after that, then we can start looking at the body itself. But it's going to work out great. Anyway, I hope to see you tomorrow. We're going to do a lot more inking, and you'll start to see a car come out of this. Thank you very much. Bye.